Hello, my name is Mariah, Dant, and this summer I was privileged to attend 2 trips, both a trip to Life Fest Music Festival in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and a trip to Colorado to experience whitewater rafting for the week. Before I begin, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself, or rather what my friends describe me as. If my best friend could describe me in one word, and one word only, I am 100% confident it would choose predictable. They tell me all the time, it's not a bad thing, and there's nothing wrong with being predictable, it's just you. If you were to ask them after the service, they would say they'd be able to tell you my whole life story, where I'll attend college, where I'll live, who I will be married to, the list goes on and on. I follow the rules, I like my comfort zone, and I have my limits. So when the summer trip possibilities spread through the youth of Trinity Lutheran Church, I thought I had made my decision. Life Fest is an awesome trip. Look at all the great musicians I can see, and even stretch myself by sleeping in a tent. Little did I know God was calling me in a totally different direction. First, I'd like to talk about my awesome experience at Life Fest. This is a festival put on each year and features Christian artists from all over the world. I traveled in a small group, about 10 of us, and it was also a very individual trip because we were allowed to go off and listen to a number of artists we wanted to in a huge fairground at different stages. The thing that amazed me the most about this trip was the huge number of believers, about 14,000 in all that attended, that came out to witness amazing testimonies and wonderful music. If I could pick just one artist that really stood out to me, it'd be a woman named J.J. Heller. Known for her very soothing lullaby-sounding voice, she led a late-night campfire worship service. It was an amazing time to just stop, sit, look at my surroundings, as well as a wonderful time to reflect on the works God had been able to do through music to everyone around me during the weekend. Throughout this trip, I learned you can experience God in many ways, and music is most definitely one of them. Rewinding a bit, as the deadline for trip decisions approached, I was confident that I was attending Life Fest. I love music, and music has always been an important part of my faith. But over and over, every time I saw Dean, he encouraged me to think intently about going on the Colorado trip. I promised I would, quote, think about it, but my inner cautious self really didn't take that idea seriously. After many pleas to try something new and see what God does when you're uncomfortable, I reluctantly and fearfully signed my name and wrote my deposit check. As the pre-trip bonding meetings for Colorado commenced, I got more and more nervous about the idea of camping. Before I go on, I should let you know that I have never, ever in my whole entire life been camping. Not in a tent, not in a camper, not in my backyard. That was how new this whole situation was for me. So when I left my parents, my sister, in my safe, secure Owatonna environment, I already knew I was making a big step. Then after 2 anxious days of driving, fast food stops, and car games, we arrived in Colorado, and so it began. To be honest, that last night before going on the river, staying in the Leadville hostel, was one of the most nerve-wracking nights of my life. I couldn't believe that I had to pack all of my clothes, sleeping bag, and camping pad into a bag the size of my school backpack. After a long night of sleep, we left for the rafting company, Wilderness Aware, that would be in charge of my life for the week. I said goodbye to my clean summer dresses, hot showers, warm bed, and running water in exchange for a wetsuit and a tent. After we went through the rules and procedures for the week, I began to question my decision. What if I get hurt? What if I fall off this raft and can't get back on? What if I am stranded by myself in the middle of the Colorado wilderness and have to live off of leaves and tree bark for the rest of my life? I did not watch enough Bear Grylls for this. But then God comforted me. He let me know that all of these people cared too much about me to leave me stranded in the middle of the Arkansas River. And sure enough, he was right. He led me to see things I could never imagine, do things I never thought possible, and trust him more than I ever had before. Not only did I witness new creation in the plants and animals around me, but I began to see a new creation in myself. 2 Corinthians 5:17 proclaims, "If anyone is in Christ, a new creation has come." That week in Colorado, I became a new creation, just as we do every day. Through the book study every night, to our fear for our life as we entered our first Class 5 Rapid, I was challenged to learn more about myself than ever before. So looking back on that week of new experiences, I'm so grateful that I took that step out of my comfort zone. Although I wouldn't completely erase predictable from my personality, being around nothing but nature for a week and gaining 20 new friends was an experience I wouldn't change for anything. On behalf of all youth, we would like to thank you, the congregation, as well as the youth staff for all your continued support. Without you, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.